Hi, welcome to our continuing series on web dreaming. I'm Patricia Simcoe, and today we're going to continue our exploration into the wonderful and magical world of your unconscious mind as it manifests to you in your dreams. We've already seen that everyone dreams, and virtually everyone dreams virtually every night. We've talked about how to remember our dreams, and now we're going to begin the process of exploring what sense to make of our dreams, what questions to ask, and how to approach the stories that present as the dream. There are many, many books on dream interpretation and many schools of interpretation. Dream interpretation over the course of history has changed amazingly. In the beginning, of course, before there was any notion of psychology, it was thought that dreams came from the gods, and good dreams were blessings from the gods, nightmares were curses from the gods. Over time, it became more understood that dreams actually come from within. There are still many books on dream interpretation, and there are even some books that will tell you exactly what any given dream means. I encourage you to rely more on your own exploration and not rely on what a book tells you your dream means. You are the only and the ultimate authority for what your dream means. Even the interpretation of symbols, which can be somewhat generalized, is ultimately totally specific to you. So, for example, a snake in a dream often means a certain thing to certain people. It can, for Freud, a snake was a very phallic symbol. However, a snake is also a symbol of regeneration. As a snake loses its skin every year, so too people can regenerate and become new periodically. Snakes were sacred to some goddesses and gods, so that the meaning of a snake is never really certain until the dreamer herself or himself determines what the snake means to that dreamer at that time. So, keeping that in mind, the first question that you should ask yourself about any dream is, what do I think it means to me? What is the feeling of the dream? What is my main sense of this dream? Well, that can be a pretty general question. It's a good first question, but it is a fairly general question. So here are some tips for what to follow up with. You know, we'll be talking about how dreams disguise the information that they give you. That said, there's one thing in a dream that is always true and not really disguised at all, and that is the feeling state. So you can always start by asking yourself, what is the feeling of this dream? How did I feel in this dream? I was annoyed in this dream. I was happy in this dream. I was scared in this dream. Whatever the feeling state is in the dream, it's a good idea to start with the assumption that it's close to the truth. So you can take your feeling state in the dream and start to ask yourself what that might have been about. Remember that your dreams are short-term processing mechanisms. What I mean by that is that you are going to dream about something that has tickled your unconscious within the last day or day and a half. You will probably dream about things that are recent. If you dream about things that are way older, or last week or several days ago, it points to a deeper impact and something that is more deeply held within that needs more time to work itself out. Your run-of-the-mill dreams will be dealing with symbols and experiences and feelings and intuitions and other unconscious content and material that has occurred within the last day to day and a half. So maybe you had a tough day at work. Maybe you got angry at your boss or your teacher or your supervisor and weren't allowed to feel it or say it. You may have a dream that night that captures that same sense of anger, frustration, repression, not being allowed to express it in some other format, some other storyline, some other symbols. So always look for the feelings and trust the feelings in your dream. Whenever anything else and everything else about a dream could be disguised or inversed or reversed, the feelings will be your thread to hold on to. Okay, now that said, we can also take a look at the characters in a dream. Characters in a dream are very important, and we dream about a lot of people. Both men and women dream about many characters in their dreams. Now that said, the people you dream about may not represent themselves in the dream. We run into a certain aspect of dreams that is important to understand here, and that is that dreams can have many meanings at the same time. Many meanings to you at the same time. On one level, they represent this. On another level, they represent that. On another level, they represent that. And these meanings can all be true, even if they're contradictory. They're not always contradictory, but they might be. This phenomenon is known as being overdetermined. And so it is said that dreams are overdetermined because they can stand for different things on different levels. So, for example, say you dream about a policeman, and a policeman is coming after you and chasing down your car. The policeman might represent a policeman. Maybe you had an interaction with a policeman and you were afraid you were in trouble. The policeman also could represent some other kind of authority figure. So on another level, the policeman could represent your father, another very important male authority figure who enforces rules and laws in your life. And maybe the dream captures some aspect of unfinished business that has to do with fear of your father's authority. And on another level, a deeper level within the self, the policeman might represent your own conscience, your own enforcer of authority, which is known as the superego. There's a part of your own internal functioning that tells you what's right, tells you what's wrong, gives you a hard time sometimes. Sometimes our superegos are actually quite punitive, like some policemen, and can beat us up. So the three things that this policeman might represent three different levels of your own experience. When we take a look at your dreams, we have to take into account all three levels. One might be relatively more true than another, but the real juiciness and flavor and authority of the dream needs to take into account all of the levels where this symbol might be relevant. And it is part of the genius of your deep mind that your mind will find just the right symbol for as many levels of awareness and truth as needs to be looked at. Next time we'll look at symbols and the drama of the dream and some of the developmental considerations, timing, things from the former times of your life that might continue to emerge in your dream world. For now, thank you for checking in with Web Dreamer today. I'm Patricia Simcoe.